three favorite things on a production company is where's the coffee, what time's lunch, when do we wrap?
We have Walt Disney, played by Thomas Ian Nichols, and Timothy Williams, who's playing Fred Harmon, and they're going to shoot an insurance ad. They steal a camera, and there's a car crash, and they see the car crash, and this is when Walt's trying to become an actor and also a producer as well.
I'm from Florida, I'm from Lauderdale, so I like the movies. I've always liked doing the movies. In my business I do well, so I wanted to spend some of that money in bringing movies to Florida.
You think these guys are movie stars, they make all this money, it's easy money? No, these guys, 8:30 in the morning till 1 o'clock in the morning, they're filming. There's a lot of nothing going on, then they do the scenes. Then a whole bunch of nothing, then they do the scenes. So it's a very interesting concept. I mean, I didn't expect to ever experience it.
I'm Desi, and I'm in the office. I'm the office girl, the girl of jack of all trades. And I'm an inker, a painter, and I meet Walt from the very beginning, and I kind of follow him through his career.
I'm playing Secretary Hesman, and I was wearing this wonderful white vintage shirt from, I think she was like, it's 100 years old, make sure you keep it clean.
I'm playing Fred Harmon in the film, and actually it's sort of an amalgamation of three characters just for a dramatic arc. They made my character a combination of Fred, Red Lion, who was a cameraman for the Laugh-O-Grams, and Hugh and Fred Harmon's brother, Walt.
Well, I'm playing Dr. Cowles. I'm a man who actually gives money to Walt to keep him going. I back him when he's like the brokest.
I play Hugh Harmon, the younger brother of Fred Harmon, and we are two animators that kind of came to Walt early in his animation career and basically helped get things going, essentially. We were one of his first animators. And my older brother, Fred, who is played by Tim, who you interviewed earlier, really brings me into the Walt Disney Company and kind of shows me the ropes.
It's fun, you know. I grew up here, actually. I grew up in Sanford, and we're filming here. I was an actor in New York like 30 years.
First of all, the creators, Arthur, the writer, and the producers are from here. And I feel like they chose this wonderful location.
Well, DeLand has a classic feel. It looks like from the 1920s. There's a lot of brick stone buildings, a lot of history here, and we have to make it look like Kansas City and Los Angeles and a little bit of New York.
And action!
It's an excellent opportunity for this town. I mean, to show off the historic value of it, to help the economy the way they're helping the economy. It's just an excellent opportunity for this whole area in general. I mean, they've been to Tavares, Barberville, so Volusia County and a little bit of Lake County are benefiting fully from this whole event.
A lot of this is handmade, and we have an incredible wardrobe department. And the sets, we chose DeLand because of kind of how old the city is, and a lot of these buildings are still standing from the 1920s. So it was an obvious choice to come here. So we didn't have to build a lot of sets. We just, all these buildings were here and they were empty. So it was kind of like a weird coincidence, but everything's period, and anytime you do a period film, it's a little more difficult, but it looks incredible.
The costumes are period pieces from the 1920s. We've got a lot of fabulous pieces from a lot of the local stores here. We also did a lot of borrowing and renting and pulling from as much as we could, and we found some really beautiful pieces to make a beautiful film.
This movie has a huge timeline for Walt Disney, and if it's off, you know, you're gonna have a little problem in the story. And so, you know, it's period pieces are definitely a big challenge. But it's definitely a fun challenge.
In the 20s, actually men were more higher maintenance than the ladies because men had paper collars and collar stays and bow ties and vests and pocket watches and suspenders. I mean, it was very high maintenance for men. For women, the dresses were definitely more simple. They were not fitted. Jewelry was used to a minimum. It wasn't very difficult for women then.
Well, I'm glad I didn't have to wear a girdle, but the costumes, they're cute. I mean, they're long, you know, it's very conservative then, so everything gets buttoned up, not like today.
a lot of us guys have to wear the paper collars that, you know, chafe the neck and choke you, and you can't really move your head, but they're gorgeous. I mean, it's really neat to look at yourself in the mirror and it's not you, you know, more than any other contemporary film you might do. It's a lot of fun.
Because when you have all this makeup and costume, you kind of feel already in the character. You don't have to do much.
But it's not about Walt. You know, it's about his struggles in life to get to where he's at. That's what people would care for. Is, you know, in my opinion, people don't care what you do. People care why you do it. And in this story, you will see how the passion and everything else that comes from where Walt is doing everything he can to make people happy. You know, it wasn't about making money for him. It was about being a trendsetter. And in this movie, you would see him failing so many different times, going through so many struggles to get to where he's at. You would see a little backstory of his family, where he came from, and some little romance in his life.
And the reality was he was a normal person who failed many, many times. But the point is every time he failed, he got right back up and persevered. It was the idea of having a dream and never giving up on it. And I think that's a powerful story to tell.
We could have probably got tax breaks in other states and countries, but we chose to do it here because we're loyal, we're local, and we want to keep it down here in South Florida.
Hopefully we'll get the governor of the state involved in helping giving tax breaks to having some of that stuff here, and I think that it will come. You did have a nice area, nice weather, shoot year all year round.
I mean, this town was depressed all through the 80s. It didn't have a downtown. There was a Woolworths and it was all dark windows. The land's worked real hard to do a revitalization, and the historic properties, the buildings are as they were 100 years ago. The city won't let them touch them, and that's a good thing. It's preserved for generations to come, and these film crews can come down here and utilize that for some of the vintage films that they're making nowadays.
You know, we all have dreams, especially artists and actors. And I moved here from Israel to pursue this career. So when you hear all those success stories, it always, I don't know, give you some faith.
Just like Disney, if you want it, then never give up. You know, every time a door opens, walk through it. Take the necessary steps to do what it is you've dreamt of doing. If you're not willing to put in the work, and if you're not willing to be patient, that's another thing. If you're not willing to be patient or do the work or deal with failure, because there's going to be a lot of it. If you're not willing to do those three things, then you should probably do something else.